Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Shri Ram. Apologies for the slightly delayed start in this. We needed to give a little bit of gap after that 𝙤𝙧 session that we did with Sumit PG. I hope you saw that one. If not, please go back and watch it. And most importantly, like this video and buy this book. Today we are introducing a new author, Ranjith Radhakrishnan, and the link to his book is available in the description section. You can go there and buy this book. It's a very important book. Many of us know that Kerala is identified by two avatars of Lord Vishnu. One is, of course, Vama avatar. The other one is Parshurama. And to know all about this, let's welcome our guest of the evening, Ranjith Radhakrishnan. Ranjith, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaste, sir. Good evening to everyone.
So, Ranjith, we have written a lot of stuff about Rama, but you thought that the story of Parashurama, the Rama of the axe, must be told. So, what is different about this? What little I know, I'll tell you, okay, and I'm sure our viewers know this, that the earth of Kerala was formed because many rishis went to Lord Parshurama and said, we need a land to do our penance where there will be no Rakshasas. And this land is supposed to have been brought from under the water, and that's what is modern day Kerala. This is what I know, and there are some other stories also, but please go ahead and enlighten us.
Okay, it's not just the Kerala state, it's all the way from Kanyakumari all the way to Goa, the entire Konkan coast too.
Okay.
So this idea of writing about Parshurama came to me when I wrote my first short story got published in a book called Unsung Valor. I thought, okay, ambition grew, and I thought that, a novel was in the offing and we can do something about it. I actually didn't think too much about why I chose Parshurama till I was well into the book. And, I'd written the portion about him beheading his mother and all that stuff is when I really sat down and thought, why did I, pick this particular thing? Because it was there at the back of my head. In this time period between 1999 to 2003, 2004, there was a series of deaths in my family, starting with 99 when my father passed away. And every 4 or 5 months, there was somebody, from my family who was passing away, and I was doing the last rites for many of them. I've been in Trivandrum for maybe a couple of years, and I've gone to all the major kshetras there. Ananta Padmanabha Swami, Srikanteshwaram, Artugal, even the Paravangadi Ganesha temple, which is, I think, even today maintained by the Indian Army. I've been to all of them, but I've never been to one particular temple that was in the outskirts of Trivandrum, and at this place called Thiruvallam. And that is a Parashurama temple. And that's where we go to do the 13th day rites, or the annual, after 1 year is over, we go to do the rites there for this temple. They've got a small Triveni Sangam, and this temple is there. So it struck me that, I was going into a Parshurama temple for the first time, and he's among the Dashavatars, and I knew hardly anything about him. I just knew the bare bones of his story. I knew that, there was a beheading of the mother, and he was this very fierce, angry guy, and that's about it. So since I kept going back to this temple, and I was more curious about the first thing I got to know was that the Murti in that temple faces Ananta Padmanabha Swami. That got my interest going, and I kept reading about him. So when I got to know his story, there was always this thing that comes into your head that, is that actually true? What if there was something else? So this story about him beheading his mother on the orders of his father, somehow my mind got stuck at that point. And I was like, no, there's more to this. There's more to this. Oddly enough, I live in Bangalore now. North Karnataka, there is this deity called Renukamba. And she is a Kuldevi to many, many people. North Karnataka as well as Southern Maharashtra. That's when I found the connection, that question in my head got resolved as to how this may have played out. And I was like so eager to put it out on paper. I think I wrote this story in 10 months, and I was ready with it. And then the rest of the time was finding a publisher and trying to get the book out. In the meantime, I had completed another short story and a poem, and this was kept on hold for I think 2.5 years. So that's been the process so long.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So Parashurama, he had taken avatar on earth to set right some ills, let us say. And one of the things that he did was he started slaughtering every Kshatriya that he could find or I think every Kshatriya king that he could find. What was the reason behind it? I remember reading this, but I've forgotten, Ranjith.
Okay. I have based the basic plotline of the stories on the Brahmanda Purana. I referred to a Purana that's been translated into Malayalam by Akitam Nambudiri. He's a very famous author and helped me get back in touch with my mother tongue too. So one of the versions of the story is about the king, Kartavirya Arjuna, desiring the wish-fulfilling cow, Surabhi, in Jamadagni's ashram. He asks the Saptarishi to hand over the cow and he refuses. And there's a big fight that happens in which Jamadagni is killed. And Parshurama goes and takes revenge against this man who is a Chakravarti Samrat, practically rules over everything there is. This is one of the story. This is one of the versions of the story there is. In my book, I have given it a slightly different aspect to it, which is about the guardians who will protect you when the protectors go bad. The Kshatriyas are supposed to protect the rest of the people from, uphold dharma, protect them from invasions. What happens when they go bad? And what do you do when the fountainhead of this adharma is the Chakravarti Samrat himself? So I've tried to posit it as a dharmic thing that was happening then, which required somebody like an avatar to come down on earth to cleanse. This is how I have played it in my story.
I see two parallels here. Jamadagni, Vasishta.
Yeah.
Surabhi, Kamadhenu.
Yeah.
And the king, what did it say? Kirti, Veera, and
Kartavira. Yeah.
So this is interesting. I never connected this. I mean, Vishwamitra doesn't kill Vasishta. Vasishta actually stops his troops from touching anything. I mean, he's able to do that. I think he probably used Brahmastra or something like a Stambhastra that basically freezes all the troops. They are unable to go and attack the ashram. In this case, then what happened after he killed that king?
Okay, that's a good thing you picked up, because Vishwamitra is the grand uncle of Parshurama. Okay. So there is a connection there. The other connection between Parshurama and Arjuna is that both of them had the same guru. There is Avaduta Guru Dattatreya, who was a person who blessed Arjuna with his many boons of the superhuman strength, his ability to have 1,000 arms. And oddly enough, he was also the person that Parshurama goes to later on when he has to, obtain the knowledge of the supreme divine. The curious thing about this is that Parshurama is an avatar of Mahavishnu, but he is a devotee of Mahadeva. He gets his Parshu from Mahadeva. He is a disciple of Guru Dattatreya, and he's also included among the teachers of the Tantra path. So this is one avatar that has a finger in many pies. He's associated with so many things. You've got legends that connect him from not only Kerala. There is a legend about him coming back for every Ekadashi to visit his mother in Himachal Pradesh. There's a legend about him in Arunachal, and there's obviously in Goa. So,
yes.
So I mean, this is length and breadth of the country.
Absolutely. One of my other guests also mentioned about Parashurama's links with Arunachal Pradesh. Please continue.
Yeah. So this was one of the intriguing parts about this. So this king, undefeatable. I mean, he was so strong that even Ravana lost to him. So there was nobody that could stop him there. It required an avatara to come down. And because we know just this much about Parshurama, he is known as an angry avatar. This was sort of a little unsettling to me because there was so much more to the man that has not come out. Unfortunately, we don't have a Parashurama where his entire story is set out, and we all know this. It's bits and pieces everywhere. So I wanted to connect the dots. I wanted to show them that this is more than an angry avatar. This is not just somebody who was going around killing Kshatriyas. There is a dharma to what he was doing. And there's this wonderful book called Tripura Rahasya, which is a sort of a conversation between him and Dattatreya, which is an abridged version that has come down to us. The original, I think 24,000 verses, which was called the Dattatreya Samhita, is no longer with us. That was, shrunk down to, I think 16,000 verses by Parshurama, and his disciple shrinks it down further. So that's what we have now. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. So this interplay of two opposing forces having the same guru, and how did this come about? Why did these two people clash? Was it only just the Surabhi, or was this sort of ordained that this should come about because there was so much adharma on the earth? There is a folktale about Mother Earth feeling so burdened by the sins of the protectors that she appeals to Mahavishnu to come down and save her. So I thought I should bring that part out as well, not just this angry man.
There's also one other instance. I remember, I grew up in Hyderabad and Andhra Pradesh, and there were lots of movies around Mahabharata, Ramayana, and so on. And one of the versions of Sampurna Ramayana, there is a scene where when Vishwamitra takes Rama and Lakshmana to help him fight all the asuras from, disrupting his yagnas, right? There is a scene where actually Rama runs into Parashurama, and the line I remember him saying is, "Your job on earth is over now," or something to that extent. Is that true? Did it really happen?
Well, the version I've read is when they were returning back to Ayodhya after the marriage.
Okay.
So Sita is accompanying them, and they're coming back to Ayodhya. It's on that path that they meet Parshurama, because he's heard about the breaking of the bow. So the bows are twins. So the other bow is with Parshurama, and he challenges Rama to show him how skilled he is. And that's when he knows that this is an avatar that has come. He's the only guy who's met Krishna, who's met Rama. He's the only avatar that's done that. So his first meeting with, there is another avatar that's come down. This is I don't want to let out too much, because this
of course not.
This is part 2. I'm still writing it, so I'm yet to reach that
Wonderful. See, these are all gems of history. I mean, these are all itihasas that we never really, touched upon. And because there is so much as a child growing up, you learn so many different things. It's easy to miss some of these things. Let's talk a little bit about your book. Where is it available? Is it available in ebook form also, so that our international viewers can also read it?
Yeah, it's available on Kindle and as a paperback. I think the international audiences will get the Kindle alone now. My publisher has not announced a date so far. I guess in a month it should be available in paperback abroad too. Right now it's on Kindle store as well as paperback in India. Kindle available internationally.
This may not have been touched in your book, but I'm going to ask you the question anyway. This is the last question for me. You see, when the earth came up, right, it is believed that what is modern day Kerala, the land wasn't very fertile. You couldn't grow anything. And the rishis then went and prayed to, I think, Naga Sarpa or something like that. Then the Sarpa came down and it drew the wish out of the land to make it cultivable. Is this true of even the what you said was it starts from Kanyakumari and goes all the way up to Goa? Is it true of the entire coastline, or was it just the part that is modern day Kerala? I forgot that part.
No. It's the entire thing, because you go. We have a very famous Naga temple in Karnataka called K. Subramania. So you find a lot of people who have their. See, in Kerala there is this thing called a Naga Kava. which is like a enclosed forest, protected forest area, which has the figurines of the Nagas, and this is worshipped every day. And the interesting part of this is, I remember hoping somebody would make this point when the Sabrimala controversy came up, because we do have snake temples across the coast, and in every single snake temple that you go to, there will always be a head priestess. It is always a lady who is the head there. It's never a man. You may find a lot of assistant priests, but that lady, the chief of that temple is always a lady. Either the daughter of the family or the daughter-in-law of the family who's married into the family that's taking care of that temple. So regardless of her age, she may be younger than you, but you would always call her Amma. You would always fall at her feet and take her blessings and come out. So you find this stretch of, Naga temples or, the Naga Cave or the enclosed forest area right up the coast. You'll find it all the way up to Goa. It's not just confined to Kerala at all.
And I remember going to one such temple near Alappuzha. Maybe if you know about it, you can talk to us, because I remember seeing the priestess also. And the belief there is that inside the temple, there is actually a big hive of snakes. Only some people will go and, see the snakes and things like that. I mean, these are like supposed to be a very big snake. I don't remember completely. Is this true? Near Alappuzha, there's a big temple.
Yeah, I think you're talking about Mannarshala. That's one of the more famous snake temples in
Yes.
Kerala. Yeah, it's in a place called Haripad. So I have a lot of relatives there. I'm basically from that. I've gone to that temple many times. But what they tell you when you go to the temple is, though there is this legend that there is something like this. When you visit the temple, you're not supposed to see one. Okay. Maybe they can appear to you in your dreams and all that stuff, but when you go visit the temple, it's only the Nagaraja and the Nagadevi that you're praying to. You're not supposed to see a live snake inside the temple. A lot of people go there for progeny. They're having problems, conceiving or something of a sort. There's a particular ritual that they do. A lot of people believe in this. And this is in Kerala tied to your Pitrus also. So the two of the things that you have to take care of are your Pitrus and your Nagadevatas. So they have to be appeased. You have to be on that good side. If not, you're asking for trouble.
And if I remember also correctly, the Nagaraja and his family resides in a house just besides the temple, behind the temple or something like that. And only few people can go in there. I saw somebody go in, and that was they're saying this. Look, the priestess is going into the house.
That's the illam, and most people are not allowed inside. Even the darshan of the head priestess is from the doorstep of that illam. She very rarely comes out. It's on formal occasions or when there is a big puja that's happening.
I was lucky, I guess.
Getting to see her or getting her personal blessings is considered very, very lucky.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. And Ranjith, I wish you all the best for your book. And
thank you so much.
Viewers, Ranjith is like me. He's also an engineer who got the bug to write, and he's written a brilliant book. I would like you all to read it and encourage him. Writing these days is difficult because none of you want to read it. You want everything in 280 characters, and you're making our life very difficult. But you can't write everything in 280 characters. Even rising of the sun and setting of the sun probably takes up 280 characters. Where is the story then? So please encourage our writer, Ranjith, and do buy his book. And you don't have to read it, plus first buy it, because at least that will encourage him to write more. And I would like you to write more on this. And like you said, you're already on your book too. Wonderful news. All the best to you. And viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And I'll give you Ranjith's Twitter handle also as part of the description. So if you are, if you're on Twitter, do follow him. Thank you so much, Ranjith. Namaskar.
Thank you so much for having me, sir.